just one word, it's freedom. You have the freedom to decide what you want to do and when you want to do it.
So if I saw ICPD in the streets of my city, I wouldn't see people being sexually harassed. I wouldn't see differences in wage earning. I wouldn't see education access issues that still remain to women.
I think it would feel much more happier and lighter, like we wouldn't be. So I know, like, so many conversations I'm having with my friends, with my family, they turn really heavy when something, gendered or misogynistic or something like that creeps into the conversation. And being an activist, you're always like, do I engage, do I not engage, how will it impact my relationship? Like, you're never on a break.
As a trans woman, ICPD is so important because, it's a consensus, a global consensus on what is right, on what is to make a better country, not only one country, to make a better world. I can stand that after 25 years, most of the objectives are not done. 25 years has happened from the Cairo conference, and we do not have to wait 25 years more to see the changes.
We have so much to do yet, and as it took place 25 years ago, I think we're moving too slowly, and a lot of generations are losing the rights and opportunities that ICPD can give to them.
It's important to me because it's about holding power accountable. It's about, we as a country, Sri Lanka made certain commitments, and it's just not okay for them to, 25 years on, my entire life essentially, they haven't been able to deliver. Then let's work together. We're not fighting, and this is our opportunity as members who don't have expertise, but we have experience, and this is where we can intervene and say, here you go, this is what we know and this is how we can contribute, let's work together. So if I would say, why is ICPD important to me? If a country makes a commitment, I want you not to be complacent, and this is my opportunity to speak about it.
I think it's still relevant because, quite frankly, I don't think that the goals that have been set out in ICPD have been met in a lot of different ways. Women all around the world are still oppressed in a myriad of ways, and I think that there's still so much further we have to go in terms of ensuring gender equity in all different domains of life, whether that be sexual and reproductive health, whether that be economic and civic participation. I think we have a long way to go.
This topic, this cause will always be relevant. It's never going to end. It's an ongoing journey. I think whatever ICPD stands for, like the vision and mission and their manifesto and their programs, it's always going to be relevant in our times, but in a different aspect. Maybe 25 years ago, it maybe spoke to different people differently and did carry out programs that made us reach here. But from here, there are going to be different programs and different dialogues and different stories that's going to encourage women in a different way.
Well, ICPD is very relevant to me because I've seen firsthand the effects of problems in family planning. So in the Philippines, we have a lot to deal with STIs, HIV infections, girls' educations, empowering women, mothers, daughters and children that are very, very lacking still in the country, even though that we've participated at ICPD back in 1994. I feel that there's still a lot to be done, and I need to prepare myself so that I could formulate the right principles, the right visions for the next 25 years of the ICPD.
I want, at the end of it all, to picture a world where people can access their right to autonomy and choice. Their human rights are respected regarding their sexual and reproductive health rights. Because I would want our inclusive, sustainable movement that is building everyone in terms of accessing the services, which is what we are all advocating for.
When I go back to my work, I'm going back to a group of really active feminists. So I think I will really try to mobilize that network, and through them try to get more people who are not being included in conversations like this to help me see the sides that I myself cannot see. Within the feminist network that I work in, we are still that small bubble that is aware, that knows, and that has a very particular angle from which we look at the world. So I will try to mobilize my network and be like, get people who are not already, who don't know ICPD. Get young people who don't know ICPD, get young people who don't know SRHR, and let's talk about what it means for them. And through that, that entire conversation where I started from, the tokenism and how do you use your power and all of that. So through that mobilizing, try to get more perspectives into whatever I'm going to bring to the table to Nairobi.
I'm working on child marriage, but this subject is like everyone is talking about it, but no one's talking, let's say, about reproductive rights like abortion in Lebanon. I want, my ambition is to make a discussion, to open the discussion about this thing. We always discuss it, but under tables. We don't let anyone knows about it because maybe we will the government or they will sue us in a kind of a way because it's illegal.
I feel really excited because everyone is talking about, and now I can actually know how much big is this and how much important it is and how much things can change if we make our best actually, if we find a way to make our best.
So I'm living in my own country, Ecuador, and I'm living in my hometown. So I have a lot of power with my own population. Once I come back to Ecuador, I will use this power that I already have, to go and to empower others to speak. So I'm going to go to the radio stations and to the television. It's not something that I'm planning, I'm actually doing. So to let the people know that we have this opportunity to fight against the things that are wrong, to fight against the things that are making Ecuador to still be a developing country, another developed one, because we have everything that we need.
I think my next step back in America is to bring this conversation and this simple narrative to groups that I'm involved with that aren't necessarily in this sector, so that we can broaden that collective voice. I really want to have those dialogues with people that might not be questioning if we are achieving a gender equal world, not just in the US but abroad. So I'm really excited to go back to the US, not just New York, but hopefully I'm thinking about creating that dialogue that's virtual, because the US is so large and big, like some of the other countries represented here. So I want to make sure it reaches those people that might have been left behind.
For me, I'll just continue being part of the already existing local movements. So already we have meetings with our community leaders where there's going to be religious leaders, councillors, the member of parliament, and we get to dialogue with them. So it will be more like an interface with our leaders, young people speaking out the problems, the issues that they're facing in terms of sexual reproductive health. So to me, I'll just continue to hammer that and make sure that each and every young woman, a young person, they are part of those dialogues, because they benefit us. It's all about us at the end of the day. So if we are not involved in these decision-making processes, then nothing really is going to work, because it's us young people who are being affected. So yes, we need to be part of these engagements. It's our right to access information. It's our right to speak out, and it's our right to make sure that resources are being unlocked, to make sure that there is development in the health system within the country of Zimbabwe and everywhere else.
I already planned to go from the north up until the south, all around the country, to visit specific communities, those marginalized communities, those fisher folks, those farmers, those living in the mountains. I want to visit them firsthand to get their voices so that I could amplify it to the world stage.